Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Raw Talk with Tanta Katie. I'm happy you guys are here today. I'm happy that you're taking time out of your busy days to listen to me. I do hope you guys are doing well. I hope that you guys are all having good days. I hope the sun is shining where you are. I hope that you have a coffee or something nice in your hand, whether it's a cold beer or a glass of wine or whatever. And I'm very happy you guys are here. I have a fun episode planned. I've been back in Germany for about a week and a half now. And one of the funniest things that happens to me when I travel, especially living here, I've been here, 11, 12 years now. And then I go back home to the US. And one of the biggest things that I realize is just cultural differences, yeah, but differences in really simple things. So it's funny because when I first moved here to Germany, there were so many things that I had to relearn, that I had to adjust to, because at the end of the day, I had to adjust to this culture. This culture wasn't going to adjust to me. And when I go back home to the US, I realize I have to readjust to what I had known before and kind of unlearn what I've learned here. And then so I learned that back in the US. And then when I come back here to Germany, I have to, get back into this mode. And to be honest, that can be something that kind of takes a minute or two to get back into the swing of, because it can be really different, honestly. Even just the simplest thing. So I was back here the other day and I just started thinking of how funny it is for me personally. Not funny, sometimes highly difficult to go grocery shopping in Germany. And I think it would be fun to kind of do a podcast today about, grocery shopping in Germany, and then also doing the difference, comparing the differences between grocery shopping in Germany and grocery shopping in the US. And maybe some of you are thinking, what do you mean it can't be that different? What's the big thing? Well, it is different. It is a big thing. So, yeah. And I find comedy in it sometimes, but sometimes it can be kind of stressful and overwhelming, especially if you are going grocery shopping alone here by yourself. Then you better be on your A game. You better be on your A game when you go grocery shopping in Germany, like no joke. And that's what I'm going to start with. So, when you go grocery shopping in Germany, I almost would say you might want to wear some sports clothes. You put on your best tennis shoes, you put on some Lululemons or whatever you're wearing, and a Nike shirt, and pull your hair back, because it's about to get real when you go grocery shopping over here, okay? So the biggest thing is, in Germany, not everybody has a car. Even if you're from a small town, a village, a city, it doesn't matter. Not everybody has a car here. So you are going to have to figure out how you're going to get to the grocery store. Now, in Germany, there's different forms of grocery stores. There's your kind of higher end, and there's your lower end grocery stores. So you're going to figure out, which grocery store am I going to? Now, I'm going to name off a few of them for you guys. Now, these aren't all of them. However, yeah, there's definitely more grocery stores. These are just the basics. So I'm going to start it from, in my opinion, the nicest to the lowest quality. So you got your Etika. That's like, for me, kind of like a nice, top of the line. They have some international products, which I do appreciate. They got my Doritos, they got some Powerade. And then you got your Riva. Riva is also nice. Expensive, yes, but I would say that's like a standard, in my opinion, standard German supermarket. You can You can get good stuff there. You really can. I actually personally like Riva. Then you got I would say we're kind of getting to the lower end here, which is a Lidl. That's where I go shopping is Lidl. Penny, great store as well. Went there for years. And then you're getting to the lower, which is Norma and Netto. All these places are great. No shade on any of them. But, that's what you got to figure out first. How am I going to do this? Where am I going to go? And based on the supermarket you're going to, you better get a little bit more sporty. Let me tell you. Well, you're going to have some ninja moves to get into the grocery store around here. And that's the truth, people. That's the truth. So, all right. You got to go to the grocery store. You put on your sport clothes. You're like, all right, hair's pulled back. You got your keys, you got your card. Well, don't you dare, before you leave the house, don't you dare forget your shopping bags. Because when you go grocery shopping here in Germany, you better bring your own shopping bags. We'll get to that later on. You know what I'm saying? And all right, so you got that all taken care of. So here's the next step. Got to figure out, are you going to take your car or are you going to use the public transportation? Public transportation here, there's many forms. You either have a train, a tram, a bus, or sometimes a mixture of the three. I personally do not have a car here in Germany, especially living in the city. Even if I was living in a town, I just don't need it personally. I just don't need it. I don't have a car. Great. So, get on the tram, head to my desired supermarket. All right. All right, great. Got there. I did it, right? Well, first things first, guys. It ain't as easy as you think. So, in Germany, you need to realize one thing I forgot to mention is when you leave the house, are you bringing it's called Pfand, which is, are you bringing your empty bottles of soda or your cans or your beers with you? Well, why would you do that, Katie? Well, the reason is because in Germany, if you have any plastic bottles, if you have any cans, those are worth 25 cents. And any bottles, so like beer bottles, bottles of cola, and glass, that's worth 8 cents. So when you go to the grocery store, one of the first things you're doing with is you're bringing your bottles back and you're putting them in this little machine which calculates how much money you're going to get back. So let's say you have 4 plastic bottles and 4 cans. That would be 25 cents a piece. So you have €2 that you're going to get back. And so once you're done putting that in the machine, you click on a little button and then it prints out a paper. And then the paper will say that's the money that once you go to pay for your groceries, that you can either use towards your groceries or they will just give you that cash back. All right, great. So first step, guys, we've gone to the German grocery store and we've brought back our bottles, right? Great. Well, here's another important thing. When you go to the grocery store in Germany, you better have either a $1 coin on you, a 50-cent coin on you, or I think it's either a $2 coin. I don't know. You better have on one of these on you. Why? Because without one of these little coins, you cannot get yourself a shopping cart. And I cannot tell you guys how many times I have forgotten a coin. Because I'm the kind of person, I just carry my card around. I don't normally have cash on me or coins. It's just not me. And the amount of times that I have gone to the grocery store and I have forgotten a coin just to get a shopping cart. I'm telling you guys, there's nothing that will make me or make a person more aggressive than that. All right, but let's say let's be real. Okay, you say you got your 50-cent piece with you. And yes, sometimes they do have those little shopping carts where you just kind of put it around your arm type thing, but they don't always have those. And a lot of places I've realized don't have those anymore. So it's kind of a risk. It's like a hit or miss if they're going to have it or not. And, anyways, when I go, I need to get a lot of stuff. So I need myself a shopping cart. So you got your 50 cents, you put it in the thing. Great. You got your shopping cart. So you walk into the grocery store, and, here's the thing in Germany, but especially grocery shopping, it's not like in the US where in the US, it's like we have a bubble. Like, don't come in my bubble, don't be around me, which I appreciate. And I remember when I was grocery shopping in the US a few weeks ago and I had my cart, which I didn't have to pay for, by the way. I had my cart with me and I didn't even get close to anybody at all. Like, I was, in my opinion, kind of further away. And they were like, "Oh my goodness, sorry, sorry." And I was just scared. I felt like I was scaring people left and right, getting in their bubble. And a few people actually looked at me, and I even said to a guy, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, sorry," because he was with his wife. And I'm so sorry, like, I come from Germany. They don't have bubbles over there. And he like looked at me and he was like, "Yeah, all right, okay." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, like no problem." But the thing is, in Germany, if you have a grocery cart, if you have whatever, it does not matter. There's no bubble, like there's no personal space. There's people coming at you left and right. And one of the biggest shockers for me when I first moved here is it doesn't matter in which grocery store you are here, whether it's a higher end grocery store or a lower end grocery store, the people that are restocking the shelves are doing that the whole entire day, from morning to middle of the day to the end of the day. And when you have your grocery cart and you're like trying to like get around, it's almost like you feel like you're in their way, like you're disturbing their day, you know? And they're just kind of like "Rah, rah," a little bit grumpy, like "Rah," and you're like, "Oh my goodness, like I just need to get like my bread, can you just move your wagon," type thing. And it's funny because in the US they do that in the evenings. It's kind of like customer is king in the US, where I feel like here I feel like they're the kings and they're restocking the shelves, and you better move out of the way for these people because they are very feisty little things. Not all of them. But that was definitely a huge shock for me. And I feel like the variety as well. So, yes, there are some bigger stores here. There is a store here called Real, Real, which is a bigger supermarket where you can get some other items which you maybe couldn't get somewhere else. However, I still don't feel like that even compares at all to the variety or the things that you have in the US or the size of things. Like, genuinely, for me personally, there's no comparison. And that's not to sound arrogant or anything. That's just for me the truth. And the stores that I personally go shopping to are also quite a bit smaller. So you really do not have that much variety at all, which the benefit to that is I'm a person where if I have too much variety, then I'm definitely taking a lot longer to pick something out. Where if I have less variety, I'm just quicker with everything. So that is definitely one of the biggest differences. Is I would say the grocery stores are a lot smaller here in Germany. Like I said, um there's a few places, of course, where there's like one or two, but I just feel like you can't compare it really, especially with variety and all that. So you're going around, you're putting all of your items into your cart. The aisles are definitely a lot smaller too, I would say. So you're kind of trying to get around people, this, that, and everything else. And you're picking out your food. And I actually do love grocery shopping, I have to say. I'm a person, I always have loved it. It's kind of like a therapeutic thing for me. I think it's fun personally. I think it's a lot of fun to go grocery shopping. And even living in Europe, I like it because for me personally, it doesn't really get old. Like, I love the cheeses here. I don't drink anymore at the moment, but when I did drink, I love the wine, and things have gone up in price here. I mean, they've gone up in price all over the world, but I still have to get my cheese. I mean, I love me some cheese. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, I pick out all my stuff. Well, let's see here, guys. Now we're approaching the most difficult part. And this is where I told you better put on your sport clothes. Now we're approaching the checkout aisle. Now this is where I told you guys you better have your sport clothes on, because this is about to get very taekwondo-y. This is like one of those shows where, you gotta get your ninja things going. I mean, this is like, wow. All right. So aisles in Germany. This is a whole thing. Sometimes, depending on the supermarket you're going to, depending on the time of day, depending on many things, it could be that there's only one aisle open to checkout aisle, right? And if that's the case, then you have a very long line that you have to wait in, which is a bit of a bummer. But if you have a long aisle, you have, the people, the Germans being like, open another aisle. And, everybody's getting really impatient, and it's kind of this stressful situation where you're kind of looking around like, oh no. And then you hear that they're opening another aisle, and you hear, um, checkout aisle 2 is about to open. And then you see everybody just running, right? Running to checkout aisle 2. And it's just a whole thing, guys. I mean, it is a whole thing, really. And one of the worst things is if you're standing in an aisle and you have all of your stuff there, all your stuff on that little thing, and you get there and then they close it. They close the checkout aisle and you're like, all my stuff is on here. Like, are you serious? And then it turns red instead of green, and you're like looking at the guy like, are you serious right now? Like, I just wanted to, like, I had all my stuff here. Why didn't you tell me sooner? And it's just so stressful, guys. All right. But we didn't even get to the nitty-gritty. We didn't even get to the nitty-gritty. So, all right. So you're in a line, right? Great. You're standing behind somebody, patiently awaiting your turn. And here's a really important thing. This is so important, guys. When you put your stuff on the checkout aisle, you better put the heaviest stuff first and the lightest stuff in the back. If you fail to complete this task, A, you are not German, B, it's a big no-no, and C, there will be eyes. There will be eyes. And let's not forget, while you're putting your stuff on the checkout aisle, if you just look back, everybody's daggering, staring at you like faster, faster kind of a thing. And you're just like, all right. And you're like just going as fast as you can while trying to organize the heaviest in the front, the lightest stuff in the back. And even though you've been here for 12 years, you're still just trying your best and you don't always know what you're doing. And so, great, right? You're standing in line. Okay. You see a little gum. You're like, I kind of want that gum. You put it on there too. And then they're just staring again, right? So, guys, This is where it gets tough. Now it's your turn. You've got your bags, right? You open them in the cart. And I think you're looking at me, or I think you guys are wondering, put it in the cart. What do you mean? Well, guys, it's not the lady behind the counter packing my stuff. It's not her helper packing my stuff. It's me packing my stuff. And those people in the aisle glaring at me, they want me to be fast. Because the faster I am, the faster that life can go on. So I pull up my cart with my bags to the side of the aisle where the checkout lady is. And she just grabs, swipes, beeps, grabs, swipes, beep, grabs, grabs, swipes, beep, grabs, swipes. And while she's doing that, I better be as fast as I can be, like a ninja. Like a ninja, guys. Like I am beep, 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 putting it in the bags, like heavy stuff down first, heavy stuff down, light stuff on top, don't mess this up. And then they're staring, everybody's staring from the back, and you're heavy stuff down, light stuff up, and then you realize that by the time, and this lady's going, she's going a million miles an hour, beep, beep, beep. She's just swiping everything through because she doesn't have to pack the stuff. You do, right? You got to pack this stuff by yourself. Sweep, 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 sweep. And before you know it, she's swiped everything. You didn't get everything in the bag, but you got to pay. So she's looking at you. Everybody else is looking at you. Like, why isn't everything in the background by now? And you need to pay. And so you're paying, just okay, here's the money. And then before you can even put all of this stuff in your bag, she's already started with the next person. Sweep, pipe, sweep, 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 beep, pop, beep. And you're just standing there, like, just breathing so heavy. Like, it is so hard, guys. Honestly, like, it is no joke. And that's one thing I love and that I miss about going to the US is they pack the bags for you. And another thing in Germany is they're sitting down when they are swiping your stuff. They're just sitting down. Choo, choo, choo. In the US, they're standing up and, they're packing everything for you. They're asking you, do you want plastic? Do you want paper? I don't know if they do that anymore. It used to be like that back in the day. Times have changed. I know. However, in Germany, you better think twice if you even dare ask for a plastic bag, or if you even buy a plastic bag. It used to be about 5 years ago, they did still sell the plastic bags. I've only seen the paper ones nowadays at the store. You have to pay for it yourself for the paper bag. But the majority of the bags that they do offer, but you have to buy, are the reusable bags. Asking or buying a plastic bag in Germany is a no. It is the equivalent. It is the equivalent. And I'm going to give you guys a good analogy here. And this has happened to me a few times. Have you ever gone to one of those really healthy, like vegan-y, vegetarian places, because you're trying to be a little healthy, and you've ordered yourself a coffee, right? And when they ask you if you want it with almond milk, soy milk, rice milk, or normal milk, it's like in that situation asking for normal milk. And yes, I've done that before. And no, I don't recommend it because the people look at you like, oh my goodness, how dare you order a coffee in this establishment with cow's milk, And you don't mean it bad. You're just like, well, shoot. And so yeah, learn the lesson there. Also learn the lesson. If you're going to Germany, bring your own bag because it's a no. And it won't just be that the people in the store look at you when you're holding a plastic bag. it'll be on the streets. People are looking at you like, a plastic bag, really? And you're just like, okay. So yeah. Then the fun part comes of putting everything in your grocery, in your bags, making sure it's, kind of okay. And then bringing the grocery cart back to where it belongs, getting your 50 cents back. And then the majority of the people do have to do this, not everybody, the majority. You got to grab your bags and you got to carry them home. You got to get on the tram and carry your grocery bags home. And yeah, it's not fun. It's really not. I personally do not like. I love going grocery shopping because I love the products that they have there, especially when there's a place that I go here. It's called Lidl, and they do like one week will be Italian week, and they have Italian, like really nice Italian products, and the next week will be Spanish week, and then so that's why I love it. But then the aftermath of going down the grocery, the checkout, and then carrying it home is definitely something I don't really like in particular. However, it is a part of reality, so I also do accept it, that it is what it is. And yeah, you get your stuff home and that's that. But I do miss the US a lot, the grocery shopping there, because I feel like it is more relaxed. Obviously, depending on where you go. I had my moments at Costco when I was there midday, and I'm like, all right, this is a bit much. But on the other hand, I had other times being in the US where I just, get my grocery cart, la di da di da. I go walking around. I get my nice little cold foam for my coffee. Oh, and by the way, guys, shout out to cold foam. If you guys want to get a really good cold foam in the US, Target has a really good one. I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Delight or something like that. And I had one when I was there. My cousin Lori had got it, and my friend Jenny had bought some really cool cold brew coffee. And then if you just put that cold foam on the top, shout out to that. Shout out to that. And really good coffee. Man, I miss coffee. Shout out to Washington State for having the best coffee ever. I miss the coffee over there. I got off track there, guys. I just love my coffee. But yeah, so I would say that's probably the biggest difference of just grocery shopping in Germany compared to the US. It is a whole ordeal out here, guys. It really is. And it has its moments, but I've had moments too, especially if you're having a bad day, or if you're having a day where you're a little bit slower than normal, or this, that, and the third, then you can't be that fast going down that checkout aisle, and that lady wants you to keep up with her, and you're just, you're trying for dear life, but it's just, I mean, it's hard, especially when you're trying to pack at the same time. Yeah, okay, so there is another approach to that. You can also put everything just in the grocery cart. However, even that doesn't even do that much because those ladies are fast. I mean, they are just beep, beep, beep. But I do have a lot of respect for them too, because that's not an easy job either. And they also have to meet I think they have like a certain amount of beeps they need to do in like an hour. So they also have their pressure. Like, if you don't have this many beeps in an hour, you're not meeting your requirements for the job. So, and that's the thing, it gets so when you're going to like a discount supermarket, which are the ones that I go to, that's when they get faster with the beeping, because that's the more pressure that they have. So that's when you better be on your A game. which is the kind of the more, maybe a little bit more sophisticated ones. They're a little bit more slower with the beeping because they don't have that pressure. And yeah, I don't know. I just felt like sharing that with you guys because I find it to be a huge cultural difference, and maybe it'll make you guys it'll bring some insight into your life, or just make you be like, "Huh, okay, I didn't think of that." Or maybe if you are coming to Germany, then you will be prepared. So, let's go on that checklist again. If you are visiting Germany, what are you going to need? You're going to need grocery bags. You're going to need a coin. You're going to need to bring your empty bottles with you, and you're going to be some tennis shoes. You're going to need some tennis shoes to get in that supermarket. And yeah, but I still love it over here. I really do. I love Germany a lot. It is a place I like to joke about it, but it does. I mean, it's one of those things. I was born in the U.S. and I'm I'm an American girl. You can take the girl out of the U.S., but you can't take the U.S. out of the girl, and that's true for me. I've adapted to a lot over here, and I do feel German in some ways. Definitely when it comes to my time, I'm very on time. So I'm very German with that, but I've always been like that actually. Anyhow, I would like to wish you guys a nice day. I hope that this podcast could bring a little bit of insight into your life. I wanted to do something that wasn't too heavy. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more kind of lighthearted. And I think in the future, I might also do kind of some comparisons of like Germany versus US with certain things, because it's probably kind of fun for people to hear, I guess. And if you guys do have any special wishes for things you would like me to talk about, I would appreciate it if you guys would put it in the comment section. And I'd also appreciate it if you guys would share this podcast. And if you like it, please give me a 5-star rating. You can find me on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So, wish everybody a good day. And until next time, guys, bye.